Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what I hope will be the return of the former Next Man Up with MJ Hurley podcast, which we now are going to turn into a much more simple The MJ Hurley Show. What this is going to be, just a real quick breakdown, is going to be The MJ Hurley Show presented by TDT Media, the company that I co-founded and co-own with Bruce Males, also known as Coach Bruce, as you all know him. What I'm going to be doing here is essentially, not completely, but essentially a video version of the written article that I do every week called Hurley Happenings. At Hurley Happenings, what I do is I kind of break down some of the sports highlights from the week before. If you guys have seen what Scott Van Pelt does on ESPN, this is going to be a little bit of a twist on that. We're going to run through, since I record every Sunday, a lot of what we're going to talk about during the NFL season will be some of what happened during the NFL Sunday, the Thursday before. But I'm also a big baseball fan. That's the sport I've always loved the most. I played for 18 years. That's kind of where my heart is at when it comes to sports. And then I'm also a huge basketball fan. I love the NBA. We just had the in-season tournament finals. There's a lot of cool things going on in the NBA. And honestly, with Adam Silver going on the Pat McAfee show, the NBA is becoming even more popular, not just in the United States, but also internationally as well. So we're going to be talking about pretty much everything when it comes to sports. This is also going to be a platform for some of the things that we don't traditionally do on other TDT shows. Obviously, I have a little bit of a different reporting, journalism, even just personal style than other people on TDT Media may have. Whether that's on Third Down Thursdays with me and Bruce, obviously that's still going to continue. That's not going anywhere. But at the root, I really miss doing my show. I really miss just being able to sit down and talk. So I appreciate if you're listening, if you've even listened this far already. I appreciate to all of those who have helped already with me kind of getting this back going and will help again in the future. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first thing I do want to talk about is actually, like I said, the NBA and their in-season tournament. So one of the things that I was concerned about going into the tournament is actually something all of the players were concerned about, and that was, what exactly is this tournament, right? So Adam Silver, I'll be perfectly honest, did not do a very good job presenting the tournament before the season. First and foremost, the format was confusing. I understand we've seen pool play before. They do it for the FIBA World Cup. They do it sometime. I believe that's what they do in the Olympics as well. So I've seen pool play before. That's not what confused me. It's just the way the NBA did it, integrating it into the season. Now, I will say, an incredible job done by Adam Silver in terms of making the players care. Two things made the players care. First and foremost, all of these regular season games up until the semifinals in Las Vegas, all of those games counted normally. And so those were regular season games. You know, the Golden State Warriors were playing these games against OKC, against other ball clubs, and those games actually mattered for their regular season record. So first and foremost, the NBA players are going to care about those games because they care about making the playoffs when it comes April. But on the flip side, the other thing that was so cool is something LeBron said when the Lakers ended up winning the in-season tournament was, hey, some of my guys, we got Lakers players on two-way contracts, right? Some of these guys are only making a little bit over for an entire NBA season, for an entire grueling NBA season, a little over what the $500,000 prize was for every winning player on the winning team. So when LeBron was asked after they beat the Pelicans the other night, when LeBron was asked, Bron, why did you care so much? Like, it was clear from the start, LeBron, Anthony Davis, the Lakers, they went full bore into winning the in-season tournament. And I think obviously everybody's going to say, well, LeBron wanted to go get another piece for his resume. I think Colin Cowherd said he wants something more on the Wikipedia page. I understand LeBron is a very motivated individual when it comes to his legacy. And obviously you'd be an idiot not to at least minusculely account for the fact that, okay, LeBron won the first NBA in-season tournament. That's really cool, right? But let's get serious here for a second. The fact that LeBron James recognized, hey, there are guys on my team who are busting their butt every single day to make me better, to make this team better, to make us a better organization, the Los Angeles Lakers. These guys don't get paid enough as they should for how valuable I see them to be, right? And the fact that he and Anthony Davis and the veterans on the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell and all those guys came together and said, hey, we want to go win this, not just for the regular season games that count, not just for our own legacies, but for the guys on our team that this money is life-changing for them, right? I understand, Jose Alvarado, who was also in the finals, said, hey, if I win this, I've got two daughters. I'm going to split that $500,000 into two bank accounts for them. I thought that was really cool. Obviously, LeBron and AD and D'Angelo Russell don't need that $500,000 inherently. But with all the charity work LeBron does in his hometown in Cleveland and in Akron, Ohio, and the fact that LeBron was able to sit down and say, hey, I'm doing it not just for me, but for these guys as well. I thought that was a really cool way to kind of put a spin on what was a very unique in-season tournament. I think this will be here to stay. There were really good results. Let's be honest real quick. Let's talk eye to eye real quick. I did not like those courts. And Adam Silver said they might do a little bit more next season. So he talked on the Pat McAfee show this week before the semifinals started in Vegas. And he said, hey, we might actually go to like fully customizable courts, not just the actual wood on the floor, but the entire arena. Like, let's get real creative here, because he recognizes the NBA is unique in its ability to be creative. That's not something that you can do in every stadium. You can't really just transform an entire NFL stadium into a new ambiance for a night. You can do that in the NBA. So shout out to Adam Silver. Shout out to the NBA for their in-season tournament. And shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers. They showed that they are here to play this year. When Anthony Davis and LeBron James are healthy on the court consistently together, they are a dangerous combination. So shout out to those guys. I think the NBA did a wonderful job. I'm excited to see what they can do next year with a little bit of an improved version of the in-season tournament. The next thing I want to talk about, and I would be remiss to not discuss this, is the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, I had multiple reports about Shohei Ohtani. First and foremost, that Ohtani was going to meet with the Chicago Cubs on the first day of the winter meetings, and that the Cubs were prepared to offer him well north of $500 million when they met in person during that meeting. And then once the actual signing happened, where Shohei Ohtani signed with the LA Dodgers for $700 million over a 10-year span, I was also told, along with Coach Bruce, sources told TDT Media inside Chicago, that they offered him a roughly $575 million contract in the realm of 10 to 12 years, with multiple opt-out clauses in there, so that Shohei would have been able to leave Chicago at multiple points during that deal. And it was a bit of an incentive-laden deal, which would have pushed it over $600 million with the incentives. Now, before I get to the story, I would just like to say that report came from not just me, but Coach Bruce and sources that spoke to TDT Media. So I understand if people do not inherently trust our information right away. However, the reports had been verified, especially the first one. The Cubs did meet with Shohei Ohtani on the first day of the winter meetings in Nashville. They did offer him a very lucrative contract. Unfortunately, in the end, both the Blue Jays and Dodgers offered Shohei Ohtani way more. And really, when it came down to it, what I've heard and what I've been told, Shohei Ohtani wanted to stay in LA. Obviously, the Angels was not the place for him anymore. But at the end of the day, the Dodgers were able to come in with an incredible offer. And Shohei Ohtani did a lot for the Dodgers as well. As Jeff Passan reported from ESPN, there's a lot of deferred money in Shohei Ohtani's contract, which means the Dodgers are not paying him $70 million every single year. It's not the same, but similarly to the Bobby Bonilla contract, where every year on Bobby Bonilla Day, on July 1st, the New York Mets have to pay Bobby Bonilla, what is it, like $1.1 million or something like that, and he's still getting paid. The same way Drew Brees deferred a crap ton of money for the New Orleans Saints when he called it quits. Shohei Ohtani did the Dodgers a favor. That way they can still try and do their best to build a world championship roster around him. And I understand the people who don't like Shohei going to the Dodgers because they say the rich just get richer with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. How can the Dodgers possibly lose now, right? Well, other than the 2020 season, which was shortened, a little bit of a weird playoffs, all of that, neutral sites, things of that nature, the Dodgers, even with all the money they have spent, have not won the World Series every single year. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I love baseball. Because even when you spend all of that money, even when the Oakland A's spend $34 million, which isn't even half of Shohei Ohtani's average annual value with the Dodgers, there is still on any given night the ability for any Major League Baseball team to go out there and win the game. And when it comes to the playoffs, we've seen that two teams who were not supposed to make the World Series last year, the Rangers, the Diamondbacks, that was a World Series we were not supposed to see based off of their standings at the end of the regular season. That's why I love baseball. So Ohtani to the Dodgers, it's great for LA. It's great for the sport. He's going to be on the most marketable team in baseball right now. And yes, I'm excluding the New York Yankees from that. Shohei Ohtani on the LA Dodgers is the best thing that could happen for baseball, because baseball is a marketing problem. So you know what? If you want to take baseball's most marketable player and put him on the most marketable team in baseball, I think that's a good thing for the sport. Now, if they rip off 5 World Series titles in a row, maybe I will eat my words, right? But I think it's the best thing for baseball. Time will tell, but I'm very happy for Shohei Ohtani. I think that free agency process went exactly the way he wanted it to go. And at the end of the day, he made his decision, and that's something we kind of have to appreciate. So with that being said, we're going to take a little bit of a quick break for a commercial. Make sure to tune into the MJ Hurley Show every Monday morning on all TDT Media platforms. I will be doing this every single week. Once again, thank you to everybody who has helped out with this. And real quick, we're going to run a little insurance commercial, because no matter how good I am at talking, I'm not as good as the folks over at Erie Insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance. Make sure to contact Jeff or Tebney at Erie Insurance. Make sure to tell him the TDT Media sent you his way. He'll give you a little bit of a discount, a little bit of a something on that insurance. Great guy, great insurance. Make sure to go check them out. With that being said, we're going to do a little bit of a quick NFL runaround. I'm recording this at halftime of the Sunday Night Football game, so that lets you know I'm not making any comments about that game yet. The Eagles have made some incredible comebacks. They're down right now, 24-6 at halftime. Anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. However, something super entertaining is the NFC South battle. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to talk about that. I refuse to touch the NFC South. I made my predictions at the beginning of the season. They might not be right, but woof, that division is bad. I will talk about is my coach Bruce's Chicago Bears. Justin Fields looked great today. He did what he needed to do. He played within the offense. Luke Getsy pulled out a couple tricks. And let me just say, I think those Detroit Lions might have been ruined by Jordan Love. They have ripped off a couple losses here in the last few weeks. They are no longer the darlings of the NFL. They are no longer the darlings of the NFC. They are in danger, ladies and gentlemen, with a little bit of a rough last few weeks for their schedule. There is a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying there's a chance if the Lions lose to the Vikings and to one other team in the final few weeks of the NFL season, they could end up in a little bit of an actual race for the NFC North. Just remember last year where the Lions ripped off 6-7 wins in the second half of the season, surprised the Green Bay Packers, surprised the entire NFC, and beat Green Bay at the end of the season to knock them out of the playoffs. That is something that could happen again, but the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love surprising everybody else. Talk about surprises. Jake Browning and the Bengals today wiped the floor with Gardner Minshew and the Colts. Something you didn't think you would hear week 1 of the NFL season, right? 34-14 for the Bengals. Absolutely amazing. Talk about absolutely amazing. Something you didn't think you'd hear week 1. Joe Flacco. That's right. January Joe wins against Trevor Lawrence 6 days after a high ankle sprain. The Browns win 31-27. And right now, as of recording, all 3 wildcard teams in the AFC come from the AFC North. Talk about a gauntlet of a division. In terms of the NFC playoff picture, some important games. The Ravens won in dramatic overtime fashion with a punt return touchdown on the last play of the game in overtime. Rams lose, hurting their playoff chances. The Vikings win possibly the least entertaining game of the entire season, winning 3-0 over the Raiders. I feel bad for Devontae Adams. This isn't what he asked for, but you could have stayed. You could have been with Love and Romeo in Green Bay. Now you're in Vegas in the Sin City. You know, sometimes our consequences make us sad, Devontae. The last NFC playoff picture piece that is important, the 49ers will clinch a playoff berth with a Packers loss on Monday night or simply a win next week. They beat the Seahawks 28-16 tonight. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brock Purdy. That 49ers offense is ridiculous. They didn't even look like they were trying today. Christian McCaffrey ripped off 145 rushing yards, including almost a house call on the first play of the game. They are cruising. And then with the Chiefs losing to the Bills today and the Broncos pulling off kind of an upset against the Chargers, Justin Herbert left in the first quarter with an injury. So the Broncos sit only one game behind the Chiefs for the AFC West lead, a division that we thought was wrapped up for the Chiefs in the middle of the season. Now the Chiefs skidding a little bit. Patrick Mahomes was livid with a call at the end of the Chiefs game, a beautiful lateral play from Travis Kelce to Kadarius Toney at the end of the game, negated because the Chiefs lined up offsides on that play. So the Chiefs are now vulnerable. I'm not even going to talk about that Thursday night game with the two teams who shall not be named. All I will say is the Steelers are dangerously close to losing that playoff spot to a bunch of AFC teams who are coming up right behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a wonderful end to the season for the NFL. We have week 15, 16, 17, and 18 remaining in the NFL season. I'm very excited to see what these last 4 weeks of NFL action will hold. As always, if you want some more NFL updates, check out the breakdown on with Nate Ness, X's and O's with Nate Ness, former NFL DB, airs every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on TDT Media. And then as always, every Thursday, me and Coach Bruce checking it out on Third Down Thursdays, 2 hours every week. Now, something we started new at the end of this year. We break it down every week as well. And Nate comes on and talks to us for a little bit. Coach Kenny for Coach's Corner. We do the game of the week and all that good stuff. So if you like some NFL action, we got plenty of that coming at you, written and video, throughout the week at TDT Media. So make sure to come back and check us out throughout the week as well. And last, but certainly not least, my MVP of the week. If you want more details on some individual players and some individual games that I love specifically, a little bit more details throughout the week, make sure to check out Hurley Happenings coming out tomorrow as well, a written version on TDT Media. But my MVP of the week is actually going to go to Bronny James. Not LeBron James, but Bronny James. After suffering a cardiac incident over the summer before this season of USC basketball, his first season where he was going to be in college playing basketball, Bronny James made his debut and actually today got his first ever point in the NCAA. I just want to say, first of all, he is following what may be the most impossible legacy to follow in terms of a son following his father. Obviously, LeBron has done an incredible job, in my personal opinion, trying not to put expectations on his son, sheltering him when necessary, but also allowing him to go grow and go be the incredible star that I think he can be. So I'm really excited to see what Bronny can do. There have been flashes for sure that Bronny can be the type of athlete and the type of player that his father is. But I will say the same thing that I say about Jordan Love, that I say about a lot of young players. Let's let Bronny be Bronny. Let's let Bronny grow. Let him develop into his own player, learn his game, learn his personality, learn his way to talk to the media, learn his way to lead a team. Because although they may have the same name, Bronny and LeBron are not the same person. They're not the same player. They are not the same leader. So it's going to look different. It's going to feel different. It already is different because Bronny is at college and LeBron never stepped foot playing for a college in the NCAA. He went straight to the NBA. He's been the youngest and now the oldest player in the NBA, something that's never been done in basketball ever. So for Bronny, it's very important that we appreciate the talent when it is there, but we also need to be critical when it is fair, because I know that's something LeBron would want, and I know that's something that Bronny wants because he wants to be treated as his own man, as his own player. So as media, let's be careful about what we say. Let's be careful about how we approach the situation. But also, as a fan of basketball, as a fan of sports, I love to see Bronny on the floor, and I'm excited to see what the young man can do, building his own legacy as Bronny James. All right, and that's going to wrap up the first edition of the MJ Hurley Show. 20 minutes today. We're going to keep it short and sweet. moving forward with a little bit of more post-production, a little bit of more people involved, this may get longer as it goes along, but for now, I'm going to keep it short and sweet for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed what you heard. Make sure to tune in, like I said, to the breakdown every Tuesday for more NFL action. Make sure to tune in to Third Down Thursdays every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time with me, Coach Bruce, and the rest of the TDT Media family. My name is MJ Hurley. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And as always, anytime I am here, we are going to leave you with the best insurance commercial that ever has or ever will exist.